Hey guys, thank you for joining me again. We are still going over the teleological argument. Last time we argued from a position of uniformity and order. Today we are going to be dealing with two sub areas of teleology. One coming from complexity, the other coming from purpose. All right? So first let's deal with complexity. The complexity of the universe is another avenue that many Christians take when attempting to convince others that the universe is the result of intelligent design rather than a mere coincidence. One prime example of this line of argumentation is found within the Book of Life. Many people would not question that the works of immaculate poetry, novelizations, dramas, philosophy were the works of intelligent people. This is displayed in the particular way which letters are mashed together to form words. Words are structured in a way to manufacture sentences. Sentences are ordered in such a way as to produce an intended meaning that the writer purposed to communicate, and it is intelligible and comprehensible to the reader. This kind of formulation can only be the product of intelligent design. No one would question this intelligence unless the produced work was a mismatch of misspelled, made up words so that it can't communicate anything. It would be nothing more than pointless utterances. And yet, there are people who seem to question the Book of Life, better known as DNA. Within each and every living thing, there is a collection of information that results in the creation of everything from proteins, blood, cells, leaves, arms, eyes, roots, fins, so on and so forth. This information is ordered in such a way as to communicate how living things are formed and function. Many biologists and medical professionals rely on DNA to be able to properly communicate information so as to be able to study the information of living beings accurately. This level of trust and dependence on communicated information within DNA could only be the product of intelligent design, because many people challenge and even doubt the most magnificent written works, but no one doubts the legitimacy and the truth of the information that the Book of Life communicates to those who study it. This is extremely important. So while people, like I said, will doubt that magnificent works of art and literature were actually what they claim to be, no one doubts that DNA is properly communicating what it is intending to tell us. All right, guys, and now we will discuss a teleological argument from purpose. Many people identify the concept of purpose as proof of intelligent design. This is due to the fact that if there is a true intended purpose for something, then there must necessarily be a purposer. This is unquestionable, because if something has a purpose and yet fails to have originated from a purposer, then there is no true purpose at all. And in fact, the thing that some will identify as purpose is just simple coincidence. Along these same lines, we can recognize that if there is no true purpose, then there can also be no true mistakes. Because for there to be a mistake, something must fail to fulfill its intended purpose or function. Below, I will explain examples of this concept practically laid out. We must address what people commonly come to accept in an item with an intended purpose. For this, I'll be pointing out an item from my own personal experience, a washing machine. A washing machine is a fantastic, magnificent invention that has made the task of washing one's clothes immensely easier from what would have been required to wash one's clothes 5,000 years ago. And one could easily identify that the true purpose of a household washing machine is to do just that, wash one's clothes. But why does the washing machine have this purpose? Surely it could do many other tasks, such as washing forgotten coins, spinning pebbles, washing electronics, and yet we don't recognize these as its true purpose, because it is not the function that the purposer or inventor intended. And if the washing machine is in fact simply a purposeless thing, then why would one become upset if it failed to effectively wash their clothes? Without a purpose, there would be no grounds to be upset, for it is simply acting out of randomness rather than intention. A common household item that most people often ignore and neglect is that of the humble eyeball. The eyeball is often taken for granted simply because it functions well when it is in good condition. But once vision becomes blurry, a problem or a mistake is recognized. This is due to the fact that the purpose of the eyeball is to be able to see accurately. Therefore, when it fails us, we acknowledge that it is failing to perform its true purpose effectively. We acknowledge that there must have been a purposer which originated its intended purpose. Otherwise, when it fails to function, why would anyone get upset and complain? The eyeball can do whatever it does simply because it exists without a purpose. If the eyeball can't see, then that's just the way it is. If it bleeds, don't worry about it. It's just doing what it wants to do. If it gets poked out, who cares? Well, it does not perform any necessary purpose regardless. This is why many recognize, in fact, that it does have a true purpose, and this purpose must originate from a purposer. Therefore, intelligent design at the biological level must be true. And with that, I concede my point. I hope you guys learned something today. And if you guys have any thoughts, feel free to comment. If you guys disagree with me, feel free to let me know. I'm an understanding guy. I love having respectful, intellectual conversations. So let's talk about it together. But with that being said, have a great day and God bless.